Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. This is a girl Jen, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formal, it's Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition of We Talk the Thing Unfiltered. And we stream it on Facebook and also on Bounce Up Central on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, share it, or keep it all yourself. A little selfish, you know, you like to share, but share this, right? People, today is Tuesday, another week by tomorrow is the 1st of July. I just felt that June went by in a blur. Yesterday I was in town, I thought it was the 1st of July. And then somebody said, no, it's the 29th. And then Sunday, I thought it was Monday. No, it has nothing to do with old age people. It's just that this month was different. June was different. Anybody tell me any different, I would tell them that the telling tales, June was different. However, today is the 30th of June. We have 30 days in June, so let me count it. 30 days, just now. Oh gosh, how will I say that thing again, boy? 30 days after May, June. All this is anyway, I remember just now. But you know, we learn that in school, right? The days of the 100 days in a month, and then February in a leap year is 20, 29 a leap year. We learn all them things. It just kind of slipped now a little minute there. So people, happy to see you all. I see 12 people. I'll be so happy when I see people come. One by one, two by two. Call them by their numbers. Right? People, we start this thing right today's month. Today's Tuesday. Just know the week will finish again. So we have a program here. So we start the thing right. Pledge.
I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I will honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, and my elders, and those in authority. I will be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. I will strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country.
And this one is for the First Peoples of Trinidad and Tobago. People, we must remember. And for all those who having birthdays this month, who I didn't know, who I did forget, who I didn't remember, and having it before today, tomorrow, and before I have the show Friday. This is for all here. We must take a little wine, we must take a little dance. So we can't take on our worries all the time, you know. Something had to break the pressure a little bit. So happy, you're strong to all those who had birthdays in the month of June.
There we go, Travis. Feeling to sing. I feeling to sing. I feeling to sing. I feeling to sing. Sing happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday. Sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to. One more time, let me go. Sing happy birthday to. Oh my God! Happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday. Sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Because now I'm the way up when the song come and finish. Anyway, again, happy, with strong to all those who had birthdays this month. I come back with all you. 30 days of September, April, June, and November. All the rest of 31 except in February alone, that has 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. All you think I would not get it to say it. Or remember, I just like we ABC. I just couldn't get LMNOP. I don't know what that was. That used to give me real trouble. But the rest of the alphabet used to say it real good. When it reached like the thing. And then after, I got a little older, by 5 years old, and think I had it down. Pack. But you see that part there? Anybody tell me the alphabet, that part it, LMNOP, never used to get in trouble, they're telling things. Anywho, let me continue. All you know, we have a plan here, right? We have a history segment, good news, something to make you think, wonder, and want to go and do further research. So let me start the thing one time. This is about Haiti.
Most people conflate race, nationality, and ethnicity and don't understand the difference, especially as it relates to Haiti. We need to have a real conversation about that today. On the heels of me going to the World Cup and seeing Haiti play its last game in Atlanta against Morocco, we saw tens of thousands of Haitians come together to celebrate Haiti's spot on the global stage. But almost immediately, I noticed a pattern, a familiar discourse bubbling in the diaspora. People were quick to label anyone with mixed ancestry, light skin, or perceived as Latino looking, whatever that means, as truly not Haitian. They tie Haitianness strictly to a specific shade of blackness, and that's based solely on their lack of knowledge and limited understanding of Haiti, its people, its history, and its culture. But we have to look at where that disconnect comes from. A massive portion of the diaspora is completely detached from the actual socio-political reality on the ground in Haiti today. For many, their understanding of the country is entirely second or third hand, inherited through stories from their parents and grandparents who left the country decades ago. And the truth is, those older generations often carried their own insular perspectives, lacking a full understanding of Haiti's complete demographic makeup themselves. When you are looking at a country through the keyhole of a family memory instead of historical and physical reality, your idea of who belongs becomes rigid. It becomes frozen in time. But that's not how identity works. Not in Haiti, not in the wider Caribbean, and not anywhere in the Americas. When the French ran Saint-Domingue, they didn't just bring chains, they brought a psychological caste system codified in the Code Noir. It ranked human beings by the exact fraction of African blood in their veins. Mulattoes, Quatorons, Sang-Mêlé. The French invented an entire taxonomy of color to determine who got rights and who got whipped. That system created a class caught between two worlds, but those people didn't stop being Haitian when the revolution sparked. Many of them fought in it. Their blood, both African and French, is baked into the bedrock of the nation. That is not a compromise of Haitian identity. That is the Haitian identity. Yes, Haiti is over 90% black country of African descent. The revolution, the expulsion of the French, and the ultimate flight of much of the early elite to places like Louisiana shaped the nation that rightfully centered its African roots as the political foundation. When Jean-Jacques Dessalines famously declared all Haitians black, he wasn't describing the literal shade of their skin. He was defining a political allegiance, a commitment to freedom, a side. Because the reality of the Haitian soil and its people is beautifully complex. The Taino were already there. Millions of Africans were brought by force, becoming the literal heartbeat of the country. But then Polish soldiers defected from Napoleon's army, stayed and married into African roots. German enclaves settled in the north. Spaniards lived along the border. Generations later, Lebanese and Syrian merchants arriving, intermarrying with black Haitian families. So when you see a Haitian with lighter skin or an Arab surname, understand that African ancestry is likely running through those veins. These communities didn't live in isolations. They mixed, they built families, and they produced children who are fully Haitian, phenotypically varied, but culturally unified. Those green-eyed families of Jacmel exist. The Grimel and Grimo, who are a product of slave owners taking advantage of women on the plantations, created lighted-skinned people. The Marabu, the descendants of Taino and African unions, exist. Mixed people have existed in Haiti, and especially in Hispaniola, since the very first European ship dropped anchor. No country in this hemisphere is homogenous, not one. Every single nation in the Americas was forged under the same framework of colonization, slavery, and global migration. You would never look at a Jamaican of Indian and black descent and tell them they weren't Jamaican. A black American who's light skinned and say that they're not black. A Brazilian and say they're not Brazilian. So why are we doing that to ourselves? So let's fix your vocabulary and your understanding. Race is made up and it's a phenotype. Nationality is a legal belonging, and ethnicity is a shared culture, shared language, shared history, and DNA. They are not interchangeable. When we collapse them, when we try to use skin color as passport control, we are just doing the colonizers' work for free. Haiti is a proudly, definitionally black nation, and it contains multitudes. Both of these truths coexist. Erasing the mix and light skin, the Afro-Polish or the Arab Haitian doesn't protect Haiti's blackness. It just proves you actually don't know the country's history, and it's a rich one. But we still black, so stay blessed and stay black. Ciao.
Stay blessed and stay black. Listen to something coming out of Argentina.
Why doesn't Argentina call up black players? Argentina carries the reputation of being one of the most racist countries in the world, and if you carefully look at the national team squad, you won't find a single black player, and the reason will truly shock you. Unlike Brazil, where the majority of players called up to the national team are black and shine in both Brazilian and European football, in Argentina people talk a lot about Messi and Maradona, but rarely mention any black Argentine player who made a mark in football history. Black players have been sidelined, ignored, erased, and forgotten, and even when they reach the top, they receive little to no recognition or praise. It is extremely rare for a black Argentine to be called up to the national team. What's even more surprising is that in the past, Argentina had more than 40% of its population made up of black people. Today, Argentina is doing everything it can to look more and more like European countries, copying their culture, traditions, fashion, lifestyle, and even appearance, while black people are being systematically erased from its history, its media, and its national memory.
Just asking, is that what the UNC want, or some people of Indian descent? When you look at H.P. Singh, F.M. Hussain, Badistaga Mirage coming along, is that what they want to do to Trinidad? I'm just asking a question. Let me continue. I saw this also coming out from World Cup.
Why does this man stand like a statue for an entire soccer match? This is Michel Kuka Boladinga, one of Democratic Republic of Congo's most famous football supporters. He stands completely still for the entire soccer match, barely moving, with one arm raised, paying tribute to Patrice Lumumba, Congo's independence hero. But to understand that tribute, you need to understand Lumumba's story. Patrice Lumumba was elected as the Democratic Republic of Congo's first prime minister after independence from Belgium in 1960. And to many Congolese, he represented a vision of a united nation free from colonial control. But just months after Lumumba took office, Congo was plunged into political chaos amid a series of military mutinies and devastating secessionist movements. Lumumba was removed from power, arrested, and transferred to the breakaway province of Katanga, where he and two allies were beaten, tortured, and executed by firing squad on January 17, 1961. Belgian officials and officers were present during the operation, and later investigations found Belgium bore moral responsibility for the assassination. His body was then dug up, cut apart, and dissolved in acid in an attempt to erase any trace of him. More than 6 decades later, Lumumba remains one of Africa's most enduring symbols of anti-colonial resistance. His death is still the subject of legal and historical scrutiny, with a former Belgian diplomat set to stand trial over alleged involvement in the case. For Boladinga, that statue-like pose is a salute to Lumumba and a reminder that, in his view, Lumumba's legacy still lives on. He's already missed a crucial World Cup playoff because he couldn't secure a visa in time, despite traveling across multiple African countries trying to obtain one. He also missed Congo's opening World Cup match because of U.S. entry restrictions linked to an Ebola outbreak in Congo. Known by many fans as Lumumba Lives, he says his silent tribute is meant to give strength and energy to the national team while keeping the memory of Congo's independence hero alive.
That is commitment, that is dedication, that is conviction, that is patriotism and remembering history. And our own Trinidadians right here at Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, and other intellectuals were also there with Ghana's first president, either giving advice or in terms of being a part of I think his government. So we also had a part to play in that. And as somebody tell me, somebody who I respect plenty, they say FIFA this year, FIFA, is spelled AFRICA. Because I understand it, I must see about 6 African teams, we do business, whether they're from Morocco, Afghanistan, wherever. The only continent are Africa, because Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent, and all we children, some does look light, some does look white, some here straight, some no straight, but them is African. And the Congo thing playing tomorrow, if I'm mistaken. No, listen, Africa carrying it home, whether Morocco, Morocco, Congo, where's the next one? There's another something. That's not to walk around the whole thing, eh? But Ghana, I think they listen. There's your FIFA is AFRICA. All them see all them team African players. France team look like Africa. All them team. Japan goalkeeper was Africa. Name I think is Zion Suzuki or something. Watch me now. Hey, anyway, let me continue, eh? Me ain't no big football person. I just dropped that there for you. Let me continue. Listen to this woman vocals, not just walking the road in America is worries, you know. And Trinidad has have it too, but we don't have them kind of shows, so, you know, like somebody just stand up by the corner and start to sing. We don't have them kind of thing really. When America, them thing is normal. Listen to this woman vocals, and she's singing a song I really, really love by the late, great Aretha Franklin. Oh! Well, they hear vocals, and I always wanted to sing, but the gods and the ancestors say, you ain't gonna sing, we will make you be able to talk. So I still thank them. That song was composed by Carole King and Jerry Gruffin, but it was made famous and fabulous by the late great Aretha Franklin in 1967, Natural Woman. Let me continue. You must have some music and joy in your life, you know. Because if you study what's going on in this world and you just grump up, you're studying it, you know, but you're still singing and dancing and feeling good, you know, loving and caring and that kind of thing. Let me continue. So listen to, oh gosh, this man, Denzel Washington. Hey, woo. Anyhow, listen to Denzel Washington. When he was younger.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back, so they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
Some people say, it used to be when they go low, we go high. That was in Michelle Obama, where we love her dearly. Now I hear the talk is when they go low, we go strategic. Watch me. Some lyrics they fall into, or they get tired. Listen to some good news coming out of Tuko with all the bacchanal and stuff for the election and this one and that one and that one. We go see how that go. Who is for sale and eat up. Look, anyway, Papa, listen to Tuko. Good news.
I feel like a proud mama, and I've said this on more than one occasion. The children who get involved in Junior Calypso become very attached to us, or we become very attached to them. They are like our children. And we see them from year to year, you know, growing and maturing. One that comes to mind, I think, because he's the youngest one we have had, is Aaron Duncan. Aaron wanted to sing Calypso since he was 3 and could speak properly. And we had to actually pull Aaron off the stage when his sister, who was the junior Calypsonian, was singing, and he knew the sister's Calypso by heart, and he wanted to go and back her up. Of course, that was against the rules because junior Calypsonians and their backers must be from 5 years up. So he couldn't wait. Another interesting one I like to refer to is Helon Francis. Helon Francis did not like Calypso. Helon Francis, again, his sister was the one who was entered into Calypso. And because on the day that she had to sing in the preliminaries, her backers didn't come, their parents said, well, you know the Calypso, go and back up your sister. Helon would not want to go on the stage. Helon did not want to go on the stage. Helon frowned, he quarreled, he was everything else. But they said if she doesn't have backups, she wouldn't participate. He eventually went. And could I say the rest is history? Because the next year, he enjoyed that experience so much. The next year, they got the same George Martin to write a Calypso for him. And he got into the semifinals and the finals. Another outstanding one I like to talk about is Irfan Alves. Irfan today won his personality. His school gave him some award. A beautiful young man, lovely singer, beautiful performer. So that when me personally, but I know I talk for all the others, when we see these children move from strength to strength, you know, it gives us a sense of pride. They're not our children biologically, but they are our children. The monarch of this year, Janaya Clark, didn't go to school for 2 years or 18 months or something like that because she was ill. She couldn't go to school. So she had to be homeschooled for the last few months. But she insisted she wanted to sing because she has a beautiful voice and she could sing and she could perform. She is the 2026 Junior Calypso monarch. So that there are so many stories you could tell you about, and I've only told you 4 stories. There are more than 50 plus stories that I could tell you about our juniors and how well they have done. And all our students have done well. I think Timel Rivas is now a doctor. Yes. Another one is in the States, she's a lawyer. You know, all the children have done well because junior clips is just another way of expressing yourself, you know? And it, of course, we know getting on a stage is not an easy feat. So that it boosts their self-confidence. It helps them when you're taking part in an extracurricular activity, so it teaches you time management, how to balance your skills with what you're doing.
Some good news coming out there from Tuco, and you see how important it is to keep our tradition alive. Calypso is the way we told our stories. In the earliest was the griots, and they were the African storytellers, and they kept our ancestors abreast of what's happening with our culture, our tradition, anything wrong. And then when we came to Trinidad, our ancestors came here, they still kept those type of tradition. We have the storytellers here, they call and respond, crick, crack, monkey, break it back off a piece of rotten poma, rock, and all those things came out of our ancestry and our history and our culture, right? So let me continue. He continues. This lady here I'm going to put up. I don't know if you all may know her. This here was one is Dame Louise Horn. And as we are into the emancipation, I thought it's fitting to have these stories, not stories in terms of a Nancy story, but stories told. As a committed educator, Miss Horn, who is a graduate or was a graduate of both London University and Edinburgh University, sought to motivate her charges. Although she's better known in Trinidad and Tobago for the high profile nature of her work in the Senate, where she spent 15 years, a lesser known fact is Louise Horn's contribution as a member of the I think that is it, of social workers of Trinidad and Tobago. As a member of this voluntary organization, which long before the government school feeding program was heard of, provided low-cost and free nutritional lunches for generations of poor school children, as well as working adults. Ms. Horn played a major role in ensuring that many children who would otherwise have gone hungry were able to access the main meal of the day. Ms. Horn was one of a wide-ranging pool of dedicated women who assisted Coterie of social workers founders Audrey Jeffers in arranging for the provision of balanced meals to pupils across the country. Later, Horn, a qualified food nutritionist, would be involved in the school feeding program through which today tens of thousands of children in preschool, primary and secondary schools are short of lunches at their school on a daily basis during the school term. It has long been accepted that the average child cannot apply himself or herself at his or her best in the classroom on an empty stomach. As a result, countless number of citizens of an earlier generation were fed and able to develop because of Louise Horn and others like her. Interviewed on her 100th birthday, Ms. Horn would say with a measure of pride, "Most of my life has been trying to help people," later noting that her first talk in Parliament had to do with food for the children. After graduating from university, Louise Horn had been a leading food nutritionist in Trinidad and Tobago, and at the time of independence in 1962, was asked by Dr. Eric Williams to plan the food for the men of the newly established TNT Regiment and Coast Guard. She has also been in charge of the food provided in the country's state hospitals. When the Flora hurricane disaster hit Tobago in 1963, it was Louise Horn that Dr. Williams again turned to ensure that the people of the stricken islands had adequate food. While she worked While she worked to ensure balanced meals, she insisted that locally produced food had pride of place in any menu. Apart from Trinidad and Tobago, she worked in the United Kingdom, South Africa, and Spain, and advised many Caribbean states in nutrition matters. Of immense interest is that in 2003, when in her 90s, she wrote and published a book, The Evolution of Modern Trinidad and Tobago, a work she pointed out that dealt with the problems of the country. The following year, 2004, she would receive from the Pope a title of Dame of the Order of St. Gregory. Mentally alert, she would recall events which had taken place many years earlier in her life. While it can perhaps be argued that Horn's longevity is partly due to the tremendous advances in medical science which had taken place since the 1940s, what cannot be ignored would be her diet, her lifestyle, exercise, and mental attitude. And as she would point out, when asked the secret of her longevity, a good set of body organs inherited from her mother. In 1980, a postage stamp was also issued in her honor. Dame Louise Horn died in March 2021 at the age of 108. So Dame Louise Horn, I did food and nutrition in school, so we knew all about Miss Horn. And again, when I would have spoken about when the Dr. Eric Williams and Miss Marilyn Gordon being a part of the kitchen cabinet, they would have introduced the school feeding program for all children in Trinidad and Tobago, all children, not children, all children of Trinidad and Tobago, that there were nutritionists put on board to plan these meals, nutritious meals, and Miss Horn is one of those such persons. And you see, she mentioned the fact that using the local vegetation as a part of the meal. Remember, I told you all that the people of Indian descent who came here in 1845, their ancestors after, well, they worked the land, of course, mainly after the end of enslavement. They continue to have the areas of land they planted vegetation and fruits and vegetables and whatnot. And that was incorporated. So the government, the PNM government, bought the local produce from these Indian farmers, the pumpkins, the bodi, the bygone, and etc., as a part of it. So the PNM has always been there working and helping all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago with the government policies that has benefited all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, whether Indian, Chinese, Syrian, or African, etc. Right? So let me move on with that. That there is Dame Louise Horn. Let me see what's next. Just a minute. Let me just remove it from there. We also have, again, in light of we are getting into emancipation, African emancipation. This here is Kwame Ture, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael. You see, civil rights organizer, political activist, and global Pan-Africanist. So it says here, Kwame Ture, 1941 to 1998. I remember when he came to Trinidad, I was there, decked out at that, when he had that, what do you call it, a meeting at, I think it was Queen's Hall, was it? Or it was some other place in Port of Spain. Can't remember. I made sure I was there. Today we celebrate and honor. This was written a day ago, by the Emancipation Committee, Support Committee. Today we celebrate and honor the man whom the Emancipation Support Committee lecture series was named after, Kwame Ture, June 29, 1941 to November 15, 1998. Born Stokely Carmichael, Brother Ture was a Trinidadian, a key Black Power activist in the American Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s. He attended Tranquility Boys, and in June 1952, at the age of 11 years, his parents took him to live with them in the United States. Between 1960 to 1965, Kwame Ture was a student at Howard University. While a student, he was chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which engaged in the civil rights struggle of the 1960s. He co-founded a party called the Laundries County Freedom Organization, which had a Black Panther as its symbol. This party was the inspiration for the formation of the Black Panthers Party in Oakland, which named him as its honorary prime minister. He introduced the term Black Power into the political vocabulary of the civil rights movement in the United States. This term became the rallying cry which further radicalized the African American struggle. In 1969, he moved to Guinea in Africa. He met and befriended President Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana and President Sékou Touré of Guinea. Deeply influenced by these two men, he changed his name to Kwame Touré in their honor in 1978. He was banned from entering Trinidad and Tobago in 1970, but in the late 1980s, under the NAR government, the ban was lifted and he was allowed to return for a family visit. In 1996, on the invitation of the Emancipation Support Committee, he returned to Trinidad and Tobago and was honored as a national hero. And from that date, the state agreed to assist him with his medical services. He co-founded the All African People's Revolutionary Party, an international Pan-Africanist organization. Kwame Touré went to his ancestors on November the 15th, 1998. In Trinidad and Tobago, we continue to honor his memory with the annual Kwame Touré Memorial Lecture Series organized by the Emancipation Support Committee. And he was married to famed African singer, Miriam Makeba. So that's some history there for you. It's important we know our history. Yeah, not only political, but also social and educational history. So let me continue. You all, I saw this commercial. Let me tell you something. Eh? The Fish Brigo had done a commercial. Well, I went and buy the thing, you know. I see this commercial. I thought it was a little movie or something. Listen, when I finished, I was like, what the hell? Advertisement, they convinced me. I went and buy a bottle. No, I have fly spray already, yeah? But I run down the road and buy. I said, I'm buying a big one. I'm buying just a little one. So all you watch this commercial. Tell me if all you just love it.
This week, an unwelcome guest. Lord God! Now, Jamaica, my granny would have burned this whole place down.
Let me tell you something, eh? Like somebody forget to use that cover. I really love my people, innit? But we making it too easy for the roaches.
I say how you. I just clean it here, and I like cockroach carnival. Them thing I made. I clean today, and by tomorrow, it'll like crop of a pass through.
Roaches messing with my toothbrush again!
Listen, I just want peace and vibes.
Nah, man, roach in my bed? This is where there's dreams, sweet dreams.
I feel real violated, innit?
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
You all need Jesus and Bob.
Hey, it's flying, girl. Get my way.
I'm so here.
Use that cover.
Not today, Satan. Bob got this.
Bob for the win.
Save the drama for your TV.
Nothing comes close to Bob.
Get serious. Get Bob.
Hey, all that. I love it. Look, me have my Bob here. All the Bob. I just can't spray it now because the fan one thing will fly back on me, and next thing I start to cough hard and all kind of thing, right? But I just love that. I want to make a public service announcement here. I see something with Yui. Some bacchanal with Yui, and they're saying it's not them. I can't see the thing good enough. So apparently, it has some fake. Wait is here, future proofing. The UNFILTERED leading the digital revolution. When you see the commercial look like, when you see the ad or the image looks like this one, that is the real one. You see that one with that colorful palace and all that, they say that's fake. Somebody like they want to make some kind of thing and get money and saying it's we and all kind of, so people be careful out here. If you're not sure, call we itself, talk to somebody, right? So it's two documents, look at it. The fake is the one that had the color palette, and the real one does not have that. So this was issued by the Office of the Administration of the University of West Indies, Friday, June 26, 2020. Friday, June 26. 2026, right? So be careful out there, scammers coming all how, They want to see little monies. Okay, so let me continue. Also, will the paper fly and go on? Or let us give me a minute, let me duck down some paper here. Oh gosh, I get it. I was walking on Frederick Street yesterday, right? And I saw some nice little ladies, and they give me these two papers. And it has to do with the crusade of restoration, a time of power, a time of deliverance, a time of restoration. And the dates and time for this restoration, they say, come expecting your restoration. So like it's a universal church of the kingdom of God, and they have it out there, these nice little ladies. They say the date of the restoration crusade, June the 28th, when that gone. Wednesday the 1st of July, you could get that one by 5 p.m. And the 3rd of July, that the Friday, 5 p.m. And which part that is? This Universal Church of Kingdom of God is what? Number 40, South Porter Spain. So all who want the delivery and who want some prayers and want to be in fellowship and thing, or they have enough time to go to the Crusade of Restoration. I ain't doing no commercial for no church. I just see the little nice ladies and they give me the thing and I tell them, okay, I have a little show, I will just mention it, right? So the 1st of July, 5 p.m., the 3rd of July, 5 p.m., Forte, South Porter Spain, right? And also, they say, pay attention to signs. They was talking about the elderly. They said violence against the elderly can be silent, but its effect are profound. Neglect, abuse, and mistreatment need to be identified and combated. This campaign is a call for awareness, care, and respect. They say, how can you help? They say, with neglect, lack of attention to food, hygiene, and health. So look in your neighborhood and make sure you see the elderly looking healthy, rosy, and nice. Anytime they're looking drawn and hard and stressed out, it may be neglect and they ain't eating proper and nobody is feeding them, right? Or they ain't even feeding themselves. The next one, financial abuse. Misuse of elderly persons' money or assets without consent. And next thing again, look out for them. Because when they get a little pension and thing, you could look, yeah, take it all up in the business, but keep a thing eye on it and make sure that nobody ain't taking the money and the money buying the little food and thing. Sometimes just have somebody just go with them to help them change the money and all that. Make sure they're eating proper and thing now. And all those who does do that, make sure they're eating now, because some of them may not complain, they might just suffer in silence, and you ain't want that, because if it wasn't for them, you're not getting money you're taken from them, right? So treat them good. Treat them good, don't just take their money. Then psychological violence, threats, humiliation, and emotional isolation. Balling them up. I remember when I was doing psychology, we were talking about the elderly and stuff. And sometimes all they say them old people like to bathe, the smelling and all that, sometimes what has happened, the shower, the water because the skin gets soft, really soft. The water jets from the shower that's hurt the skin. So it's better you have a bucket of water and get a nice little bench for them to sit down. It's a them cheap bench selling on Charlotte Street, little cheap thing, and they sit down on it and they take the water and throw on the skin how they want and bathe themselves. Sometimes it's just simply that. It's not that they don't want to bathe. The shower hurting them and they want to say nothing to cause no problems, right? And the next thing, emotional abandonment. Lack of attention, affection, and support from family. Oh God. Don't just put them in our old people home and nobody go and look for them now. Go and look for them, take a Saturday. I know somebody, a person that I love as an elder, I love as my guru, every damn thing. Just go and look for a sibling every Saturday when they come to make sure she's all right and everything okay, and she does love it. When she come in, the whole place does know he come in, and they just have a good time. So don't just drop them off, go and see about them, make a time off, go and look for them and thing, and make them feel nice and wanted and loved and all that kind of thing. And that will make you keep an eye on the home to make sure the home ain't doing them nothing. Okay, all right. So that is it there, my public service announcement. Right, so I hope the kingdom of what the name, the Universal Church, the kingdom of God, they appreciate what I just do. They didn't ask me, but I decided I go do it, right? So let me continue. We go start the thing now. We go start it now. I like to give all these good news things to cool me down from this. Just now. This is a blast of stress with them, how we in this country going through yet or something, Okay. So they feel like just only talking, they want to hear back and yeah, I'm glad for all you. All at once, all their heart elevated and beating, and like you feel like a jumping on your chest. So they love that. We calm down ourselves. So let me continue. So in St. Vincent, I saw this, and this is so nice. I hope that in our country also, students who are visually impaired or just who are blind and they have this type of confidence, and there is a support system to help them. Only listen to this, is beautiful. From St.
Emerging
Vincent.
as the top performing girl for the Fairhall Government School at the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment (CPEA), with an average of 94%, Faith Grant has defied the odds to earn a place at the St. Vincent Girls High School. Faith ranked 19th among girls nationally and 43rd overall out of the 1,760 students who sat this year's CPEA. SVGTV News caught up with an excited Faith at her school on Monday, just before she collected her examination slip.
Feeling honestly happy and excited. Well, actually, many thanks actually. The first thanking would be to Heavenly Father. My Heavenly Father, it was through Him and Him alone that I really mashed it and succeeded. My song, God Will Make a Way, that song was the one pushing me on. And then the next thanks would be to my parents, my family, my entire village that supported me along during the preparation, my teachers and my classmates and everyone.
Grant said she was confident of gaining admission to St. Vincent Girls High School. Her proud mother, Yolanda Grant, also expressed gratitude for Faith's achievement.
When the news came, I screamed, I cried, because Faith came from a very long journey, perseverance. God was our captain from day one. God was there with us, seeing us through, and I'm so thankful to God.
Faith admitted that mathematics was her most challenging subject.
By the time I got to the middle of the exam, like around 36, almost to the end, I had to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Faith's mother singled out her daughter's helper, Chaminda Okiki, for special recognition and thanked everyone who contributed to her daughter's success.
I'm not surprised, because when we went on school tour at Girls High, she was telling everybody, oh, expect me September. I'm coming September.
I knew she would have done well. I mean, she surpassed my expectation given the challenges that she had. So the top student is Jeremiah James. He came 24th for boys and 41 overall. His average is 94.20. 35 students sat the exam. 32 of the students were successful. We had quite a few students who had different challenges who were offered the support.
Faith, who speaks 4 languages and plays the piano, said she is eager to begin the next stage of her education. She also encouraged other students living with disabilities to persevere and pursue their goals.
Disability is not inability. Yes, you could just still shine. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. That's what it said in Philippians 4:13.
Faith is currently receiving Braille instruction twice weekly. However, her mother noted that secondary school education will present additional challenges and increased expenses.
But I have to prepare Faith, because there's one tool, for example, that Faith must use in secondary school, which is the Braille Note Evolve, which will be doing both Braille and computer together, and also would have a monitor that the teachers who do not know Braille can follow, because it would have the normal prints. So, and it's a very expensive piece of tools. It's gonna cost us over $13,000 US, but I know with God's help, we're gonna get it.
For SVGTV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Listen now. That child could talk 4 languages. I could barely talk English good. That child could quote from the Bible. I have a Bible here and I can't quote nothing from nowhere. And it have plenty of all here. I'm not saying all of them alive. Eh? Plenty of all you close to the church and far from God, all they can't quote nothing. This child is blind and this child could quote Bible and this child could talk 4 languages. I'm not saying that only people who could see could do that, but I'm just saying the challenges she have, and she could do it, and she could talk. She could talk. Watch me, bless she had. Bless she had. I hope she get all the help that she needs, and I hope in Trinidad children who are also visually impaired and blind get the help that they need. Oh gosh, she make my nose proud. No, make my nose stand. Okay, I forget the saying. People, let us show love, compassion, and humanity for our brothers and sisters just 7 miles away from us. I think it is. If you go up Picacos, you could see them. You could wave and say, hey, we're doing a cross in Spanish, of course. And that's how close they are to us. Just had a devastating earthquake where the body bags are piling up. People still missing. I didn't want to think what that means. But skyscraper and buildings come down. Oh, Jesus. Lord Father, put a hand, and let people's heart be open and let people's heart be full of love to help. Look what this guy had to be saying. Oh God, is an embarrassment, man. We is people loving people, boy. How it reached to this? Listen to this. How it reached to this? And nearly put on the wrong thing for Salvex. How it reached
Now,
to
I'm
this?
actually living in Venezuela, here in Margarita, and I have been following the news out of Trinidad with respect to the efforts to help Venezuela. And I've been looking at the comment sections of these things, and I must say that I am extremely disappointed with, first, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, and secondly, and most importantly, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Not all, but the majority. When you read these comments and you see the kind of hate that they have for everybody else other than Trinidadians, it's a real shame to have Trini blood running in me right now. It's a real shame. I feel like that. Right? This, people, is not a political thing. Right? This have nothing to do with who non grata and who do like who and who this and who that. This have nothing to do with that, Trinidad. This is a humanitarian thing. It's something from the heart. It's a natural disaster. All you in Trinidad feel that we untouchable or something, Trinidadians untouchable. If you guys burn all these bridges now, what will happen when Trinidad needs help? You all know that this fault line, all these fault lines running straight through Trinidad. You all know anything could happen to us at any time. We would need help too. And then we'll be studying who like who and who politically affiliated and who not. When your whole family trapped underneath a building, you're worried about, wait boy, Venezuela don't like we, or let we ask for help. You just want the help to come, fellas. People. Trying to Tobago, boy. Only real disappointing, boy. The government making promises, nothing happening. Look, almost a week gone already, and nothing from Trinidad so far. Not a plane, a military people to help, you know, disaster people, nothing, boy. It's real disappointing to be a Trinidadian right now, boy.
Well, you have a heart now. Have a heart now. Have a heart. Have a heart. I am confident if it was a PNM government in office, some help would have done reach already. I just saying so. That's my opinion. I just saying so. I could be totally wrong. But all they have a heart. The culture of fraternity has lost another one of their children. Not physically children, but you know what I mean, their family. Another one, their family. Oscar B from Tobago, he would have died just recently. And I think on the day they were going to have the benefit concert for him to help, I guess, with his medical bills and stuff, he would have died on that day. So I think it was over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm reading something here from The Guardian yesterday, and it says, the cultural fraternity and Trinbagonians are mourning the loss of renowned singer Oscar B. His name was Oscar Benjamin, who died yesterday morning after suffering recent health complications. The former lead singer of the legendary Jamaican band Byron Lee and the Dragonaires died the very day benefit event was scheduled to take place at the Shore Park Cultural Complex to help raise funds for his medical care. He was 57 years old. His unexpected passing turned the event into a tribute concert with many artists reminiscing and sharing memories about the iconic singer. Tobagonian Marcia Miranda, is she from Tobago? I don't know that. Spoke to Guardian Media before hitting the stage last evening and recalling growing up with Oscar B. She said, my father owned a nightclub in Tobago, and obviously Oscar passed through singing his beautiful music and lending his talent. Miranda said she saw him last perform around Christmas time, where they chatted about a medical incident involving one of his close relatives. She said she was stunned upon hearing the devastating news of his passing. I really thought we were coming here to heal, to bring hope. I really had no idea that Oscar had got to the stage where we would have lost him. Remind me of Blacks, remember Blacks. Meanwhile, singer Patrice Unique said, me and Oscar go way back. I remember in the earlys when Oscar B was MC. Okay, they actually spell MC. They didn't put M and C, no, they put EMCE. What's wrong with all your Guardian? No, man. Was MC I thought it was some French word at Signal Hill School for Junior Calypso Monarch. I saw the brilliance in him. Prince Unique said he encouraged Oscar B to begin singing soca and calypso and take it seriously, to take the craft seriously. When Calypso Rose came to Tobago in 1986 to open a tent, I had the privilege of asking her to include us, and that is where he got his big break. He said Oscar B began performing all over Trinidad and Tobago internationally as his career took off. Chatley singer Govindra Ramlogan said he looked up Oscar B and had the privilege of performing on the same stage with him. He recalled having the unenviable task of performing after Oscar B, who in typical fashion had left the audience into a frenzy. However, he said some veteran or advised some Oscar B help him that day. He came to me and said, do not go on the right way. Let the crowd cool down up. Do not go on right away. Let the crowd cool down a bit. Other artists may want to compete and show off, but he looked out for the younger artists. Hailing from Signal Hill, Oscar B's musical journey began with the acclaimed Signal Hill Alumni Choir, where he rose to international prominence with Byron Lee and the Dragonaires, a role he held for over 4 decades. He was widely celebrated for his infectious, high-energy hits like Soca Butterfly, Soca Bougie, and Soca Tati, collaboration with dancehall artist or dancehall star Admiral Bailey, which became massive global carnival anthems alongside popular tracks like Girly Girly, Raga Soca, and his recent social commentary, I versus Man. During the budget debate on Thursday, Chief Secretary Fali Farley Augustine announced that the Riga House of Assembly had approved funds to assist the singer in medical expenses. Augustine had hailed the legacy of Huckabee, revealing he was in Jamaica's recently, and the singer was still a topic of discussion. Signal Hill Secondary yesterday paid tribute to the legendary singer on a Facebook post following his passing, saying he was, well, why go on just so? Shah, just put me back on stage, please. I don't know what is happening. So let me continue. What's happening? Shah, could you put me back on stage, please? Thank you. I don't know what's happening. Something is butterflying around here. Okay, right. Signal Hill Secondary yesterday paid tribute to the legendary singer in a Facebook post following his passing, saying he was more than a gifted singer. Today, the music is a little quieter, the stage a little dimmer, and our hearts heavier, he said. While noting his accomplishment on the international stage, it said Huckabee remained grounded and friendly. It said, or he said, yet despite his remarkable achievements and acclaim, he remained the very definition of humility. His warm smile, genuine spirit, and genuine kindness made everyone feel seen, welcome, and valued. So to the family of Huckabee, Oscar Benjamin, his family and friends, condolences coming from the family and friends and peoples of the We Talk the Ting Unfiltered and also Bounce Up Central. So let me give you a little piece of Mr. Huckabee. We can't have it, and then I'm going to show you something I'll make all you say, but me ain't know the man I move, so a little thing of Huckabee. I can't play the whole thing, right? A little thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Caribbean Connection time. The vocalist, the lead vocalist with Byron Lee and the Dragoners. Let's bring down the man, Oscar B. St. James Posse. We're not ready for the butterfly. We're not ready for the butterfly. Let me say ho. No, you're happening. All you could do better than that. I want to see all the St. James Massive. This ain't no jump up and wave and get on board. But if you want the butterfly, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure you buy your copy of the butterfly right here by Rhinos. Cosby's, everybody, make sure you buy your butterfly so the family could learn how to do the butterfly dance. All ready for the butterfly? If you want the butterfly, say ho! Say ho! The roof is on fire! We don't need no water, let the... Put your hands in the air! Calm down, calm down! And a brand new fashion. Byron Lee and the Dragoners come again. Jump up, jump up. Jump up, jump up. Jump up, jump up. Last time I meet this girl in a basement party. Like I got a mean up man, I'm feeling irate. Put in a hand on the party, moving the waist in and out of the party. Put in the hand on the front, moving the waist, round and round it nice, so nice, so nice, so nice, so. Butterfly, butterfly, let me do the butterfly, 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 let me do the butterfly. Butterfly, 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 let me do the butterfly, 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 let me do the butterfly. Come, watch this. Put your foot in a kimbo, chuck up your shoulder, move up your elbow, lock your knee, bend your back, bring out your hand, ting out your bam bam, bam bam. Let me see your butterfly, butterfly. Well, I never see no dance looking sexy like that, never. Them girls moving like if they doing a cobra. Come, put in the hand on the party, moving the waist in and out of the party. Put in the hand On the fun, moving the waist, round and round, it nice, so nice, so nice. Come, butterfly, butterfly, to the butterfly, 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 to the butterfly, 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 to the butterfly, 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 to the butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. Watch, put your foot in a timber, shake up your shoulder, move up your elbow, lock your knee, bend your back, bring out your hand, ting out your bam bam. Butterfly! We come again! Brand new style, this is a brand new fashion.
I think I was in that crowd there. No. Oh God, I supposed to run. I even see the faces, yeah. Hey, oh God. Only watch this one, only gonna love it too. Only that was former Minister Tourism Ronald Michelle. Hello, he had the rhythm. But I tell you when they're doing it, oh God, and it was on the outside, so, and they put it, okay, I will tell you, I'm going with that. So, again, condolences to the family and friends of Oscar B on his passing from Bounce Up Central. Woo. And we told you, no, hey, I was a little tiny whiny, Only that time. So we in Tobago, we continue. We get into real serious, more serious thing. Listen to this and Farley
have to
freezing
manage
and
this. And yes, there will come a point, Secretary of Financial and Economy, where I will have to issue an edict freezing employment in the THA. Because we can't just keep going. Don't be alarmed, those of you who are on short term and is not in this count as yet. Those of you on 10 off. We extended your program till the end of August because we know we didn't want any disruptions before you prepare your children to return to school. But the division is working on transitioning to the permanent hires and filling the vacancies there at the Division of Infrastructure. To fill those vacancies requires that the division promotes those who are already on the establishment into the elevated vacant positions and then make the positions at the bottom available for entry. So that administrative work is happening along with the unions, and we are hoping that by the time we get to the end of August, we will get to the place where we do those permanent hires on the vacancies. And there's some other divisions with some existing vacancies. We're trying to close those gaps. But once we have closed those gaps, we will have to put a pause on hiring for a number of years in the THE to allow us to catch a break. Because with increased budgetary allocation from central government, I don't want us to just increase on recurrent expenditure. I don't want the recurrent expenditure to mushroom to the place where we have no money to build roads and build schools and to build bridges and to do the infrastructural work that is required. But
all our fancy talk translate the most vulnerable, the CPAP because you have people, they're going home. All our fancy thing, they're going home. All right. Same thing happening in Trinidad like it go happening in Tobago. Only look out. No, my butterfly. Let me do. Oh, Shirley, darling, I see that you take care of your mom. That was so good of you. Let me tell you something. She prays that she put you, I will keep you, darling. That and the ancestors. Let me continue. Listen to my Shamfa here. I'm a girl, that the political leader, the PNM in Tobago. She go to like that. She go. As Miss Runuka and Miss oh God, the next no one, oh gosh, Miss Ayana. Oh God, they love them too bad, I don't know. Listen to
The
this.
Prime Minister continues to make all these allegations under the cover of the Parliament. And that is irresponsible. That is irresponsible and disappointing. And it is unfortunate that the country is in this state as it relates to that specific matter. And many other matters that she's raising in Parliament that seem to have no base. If there is some sort of legal investigation or criminal investigation of any sort that needs to be done, then let the law enforcement authorities do their work. But using the cover of Parliament to stain people's name, I can't support that. Now, I hold no brief for anyone and I have no relationship with any person mentioned there. But that irresponsible behavior of going to the Parliament and making these remarks as it relates to people and their reputation, it is dangerous. But today it would be today for you, tomorrow for me, and Trinbagonians have to be alert as it relates to that. Now, I think the Prime Minister have a bigger story to tell us about Danny Guerra and the issues with Rajai Ali and so on. These are the stories the Prime Minister needs to be telling to the Trinbagonians about. So to say, oh, PNM involved with gangs and so on, you get out there and you prove that, Madam Prime Minister, not from the cover of Parliament and not from trying to tarnish people's reputation under a state of emergency. You're using a state of, this state of emergency is not about reducing crime. It's about political expediency, holding people hostage and not allowing people to speak up and speak out for their rights. That is what this is really all about. That's what it looks like to me. So the state, we are living under a perpetual state of emergency, and that cannot be healthy for our democracy. We see those same sweet words that Mrs. Kamala Prasad, Mrs. came into government on, riding on the back and the emotions of people. On the day she was sworn into Parliament, she gave a beautiful, sweet speech. Everybody said, oh, this is the mother of the nation. Where has all that gone? It's just talk and promises, and the UNC has remained true to form. Old talk, sweet talk, mama guy, and when they get into government, it's a dictatorship. They are abusing their power. They are misusing law enforcement, including the police. And they are causing citizens to suffer. And at the end of the day, after a state of emergency, when you're taken in from a POD, when you get in there from detention and you serve your time in detention, when you get out, there is little to no justice for you. They are misusing and abusing their authority, and it is not right.
They tell all you know. Listen to this. Listen to this. They want to help with crime and the at-risk youth and all that. Listen to this.
The MyLad program is the newest victim of this government as they seek to shut down and cancel the program going forward. Now, word is coming in that all staff at the MyLad program were given letters terminating their contracts, which signals the end of the line of the MyLad program. Now, this program, alongside the battery of youth programs in this country, formally created under previous PNM administrations, was created to intervene with young people who were vulnerable and lived in vulnerable communities. It provided an avenue, a safe space for young men especially to be transformed, to be given another way of life, another avenue of development holistically. So it's speaking about physically, it's talking about academically, emotionally, behaviorally, to prepare them to become productive, good standing citizens and young men in Trinidad and Tobago. We are facing a crisis in young men today. Our crime and criminality is being led predominantly by young men, ages up to 14 and 29 in this country. And this program was tailored and created to reach out and to give these young men a safe space where you rarely and hardly have safe spaces for young men to hone their skills, to get another chance of living and to become good citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. Young men are dying and falling like flies in Trinidad and Tobago with murder and this never-ending criminal life cycle. And this program was working so well that we have seen time and time again the many testimonials of young people who said how they came into the program and what the program did and transformed their lives today. Many minor graduates today are in the various arms of the military. Many of them are in the CTPS. Many of them are serving this country valiantly. And with the stroke of a pen, this wicked and vindictive UNC has cancelled this program and has stopped giving the youth of Trinidad and Tobago a fighting chance to become transformed citizens of this country. The UNC under Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Wayne Sturge, Philip Watts, and that band of bandits have cancelled and are allowing young people and setting them up for complete and utter failure in this country. So the question really is, who is really winning under this government? Because it is certainly now, it for sure is confirmed in our minds today, in front of our faces today, that the young people of Trinidad and Tobago are not winning under the UNC.
I think that young man there, that young chap, I think was an alderman down in Point Fortin. He also used to work in the Ministry of Development and National Services. And it went into Parliament. I think the current minister in that ministry, Mr. Watts, I think went and carried the fella name with others in the Parliament, like it wasn't qualified and all kinds of things. I heard this gentleman who now talked to the man and he masters and all kinds of things, very well qualified and all that, but they were trying to shame the guy. I think that's shaming, because if he have all the qualification, why you going and say he don't have? But he's speaking there passionately about the minor program, and that's what we say. But we did tell all that. Let me continue. We did tell all this, so. We did tell all this, so. This is what they're giving we instead of my lads and my parts and these things, this is what we getting. This is what we getting.
Boodoo stood up Tuesday night and said, I have no evidence, and went ahead and made the accusation anyways. Dominic Hadid and his wife got detained under the state of emergency powers. Just weeks after Hadid criticized the government about VAT refunds and taxation. Boodoo says that the timing sends a message. Cross the UNC administration and risk arrest. Padarat called it political theater. Minister Alexander asked the country to let the TTPS and the courts do its job and don't render any judgment over social media. This script runs both directions in TNT politics, and here's where you need to follow me. Weeks before, it was the Prime Minister linking the PNM headquarters to narco money and also accusing the party of having ties to pedophiles. Former PNM leader Kid Rowley demanded proof. None came. Now it's the same move, just opposite direction. No receipts, just the most damaging words available. The small business owner watching this, the worker that just wants to see police run down real crime, loses anyways. Because if every disagreement becomes persecution, persecution stops meaning anything. Using state powers against critics is one of democracy's most dangerous moves. That's exactly why the charge can't just get thrown around for every inconvenient headline on either side. Save it for when you can prove it, or else next time it's true, nobody believes you. Leave it to us in the comment section below on this entire situation, and like and follow as always.
That's what we getting instead. Listen to this. People who even living in Trinidad know more about what's going on here. Oh God, oh God. Look, listen.
Trinidad and Tobago businessman Dominic Hadid, his wife Genevieve Hadid, and their 65-year-old aunt Star Sabka are being held by the government under preventative detention orders, with the government alleging they were part of an ongoing conspiracy to assassinate senior MPs, including Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. For now, color me skeptical, because this is not new for the UNC government. In 2011, the UNC also alleged an assassination plot against Kamala Persad-Bissessar, accusing 16 individuals, including TTPS officers. Just 1 month later, that case fell apart, and everyone was released without charges. Many of the accused would later turn up dead in seemingly unrelated circumstances. This is now the 5th plot that the government has alleged against them over the past year. The first coming in July, ushering in the state of emergency, followed by the Attorney General stating a plot against the government involving RPGs. There was the supposed increase in police presence at Parliament that no one seemed to know anything about. And then it was a $2.8 million bounty on the heads of Khadija Amin, Barry Patterath, and Wayne Sturge. Danny Guerra, the individual allegedly behind that assassination plot, and also alleged in the media to be a financier of the UNC government, turned up dead just weeks after his release from PDO without any charges, shot and killed by masked gunmen. What is really going on in Trinidad and Tobago? In the hundreds of PDOs issued by the government, the vast majority walk free without charges, which begs the question, why is that? And where is the evidence? We've been told stories about money laundering, guns, gangs, and drug lords running Trinidad and Tobago. So imagine my shock to see actually none of that listed in Hadid's PDO. No guns, no drug lords, just allegations that a 65-year-old businesswoman said something unsavory. If bad talk around the rum shop was standard for a PDO, imagine how much of the country would be guilty. We will let justice run its course, and I'll reassess if we see some hard evidence of criminal activity. That's true for the Hadids and for Ms. Sabka. That's true for the hundreds detained under PDO. Which government critic will be next? 2011, 2026. Perhaps all just passing coincidences, I don't know. Perhaps the UNC may be incapable of governing without mass hysteria and chaos. Perhaps another example of Cambridge Analytica Steve Bannon's flood the zone.
Well, you all know that Dominic Hadid and his wife Genevieve Hadid and another family member has been held under the state of emergency with a way called it a protective detention order, PDO I think it is. But they haven't been arrested or charged, arrested, whatever. And I think they took the matter, their lawyers, I think HC, Douglas Menz, Peterson, and Paris Alwari, if I'm not mistaken, they took this matter to court and that, and the judge, I think it's Francis Pasal, would have allowed them to look over the police diary to see what they were charged for, or how they were held, or something like that. I'm not into security and any police people. Only go read the story proper, right? I just given a little brief something. And they went back to court today again. And I'm seeing they say Hadid's lose legal challenge to remain in detention. So let me watch that story. And let me see. If things done proper evidence, proper thing, me can get involved in that and thing. I hope thing is done proper. Because if it is proper, then we could get so. And the so coming from the government, it will come from taxpayers' money, right? And all of us who get held was so. Just like 2011 when this whole scenario like a playing out again in front of we face, right? So let me continue this, Papa. Listen to Larry Lala SC.
When you have a state of emergency being used as a crime plan, and you have a situation where persons' rights are suspended, and persons being the danger that persons could be arrested and detained without any proper investigation, then, we're on the way to being a police state. You cannot have a rolling state of emergency. That was not the intent of the provisions that were inserted into our Constitution. It is wrong to have PDOs being used as a substitute for police investigation and charge, right? We see the situation with the Hadid family, Mr. Hadid and his wife and his aunt, and I believe the general consensus of the population is, all right, well, if there is enough to charge people, charge them and let the normal process take its course. But it is wrong to use the PDO as a substitute for police investigation and charge. Detain people, keep them for weeks or months, and then release them without being charged. That cannot be accepted as normal practice, governmental practice, police practice in Trinidad and Tobago. We are all in danger, every one of us, if we allow that to be accepted and if we say nothing about it.
All they hear a nice SC, all they take warning, all they don't listen. We have some bacchanal happening on the Politician Corporation. A little after Carnival, we would have seen this. Alleging that this is what was happening. So the corporation draft estimates of development programs expenditure 2026, and it showed you that Arima Corporation 2025 under the PNM they did get 18,250,000 under the UNC. They get how much? Look now, let me open it out on my phone and see what it is. Under the UNC, they get 5,600,000. They get a decrease by 12 million and something dollars. While Shogunas and them get increases because under the PNM, Shogunas and them places at 17,250,000. Under UNC, they get 37 million and something, 20 million increase. So you see it here, the Diego Martin Regional Corporation under PNM gets 17,450,000. Under the UNC, they get 11 million and something, so they get a decrease. While Mayara and Rio Clara and them places get plenty monies. Then let me come down to Port of Spain Corporation under the PNM get $19,750,000. Under the UNC, they get $4,100,000. You see what the decrease by? You see how much it decreased by? $16,650,000. I really don't know. All the PNM Corporation, based on what that's saying, they cut it. So if you cut Port of Spain by so much millions of dollars, you're done showing us a deficit back and all day. So to take up garbage, clean drains and do sanitary work and all that and salaries and all that, it means to say all that get affected. Okay. All right. That was somewhere after March we did see that. Then somewhere in April there, the mayor of Port of Spain had an interview. I ain't playing the whole thing, but this is what he was talking about. Only listen to the timelines, eh? That was the thing I showed. It was just after Carnival. This interview here was in March. Somewhere around in March. No, April was this interview. So listen to.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago, 6:47 on this beautiful Monday morning. Getting straight into it, I am joined by somebody you've never seen on this set before because he tells me this is his first time doing morning television. Port of Spain Mayor Chinua Allen. So it's my pleasure to have you here, Chinua Allen. And we are discussing what you call the fiscal fiasco in regional corporations. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Kijan, and good morning to all of your viewers on CNC3 and all of the people of Port of Spain and the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
So this didn't start last week. This obviously would have started at the budget when you got a significantly less portion of the pie, so to speak. Since then, it's been about 6 months. And you called it a fiscal fiasco. There was a meeting held on Wednesday in San Fernando with all 14 corporations. Coming out of that, we now have the usual back and forth. The minister, Khadija Amin, is saying you're spending your money on FETs. You are saying we can't even afford garbage collection. What is the latest since then?
Well, I think that the minister's comments really serve as a distraction from and does not represent the tenor of the conversation that happened in that meeting in San Fernando. Every single corporation, from Separia to Shogunas to Diego Martin, every corporation complained that they did not have enough allocation, enough money to meet their salary obligations, to make payroll to public servants, to pay allowances, to pay NIS. Every single corporation complained. And so I found it strange that the message coming out from the meeting from the minister was about cultural and heritage activities. I view that really as a distraction. In the case of the city of Port of Spain, after the month of May month end is the last time that we'll be able to make payroll given our current allocation.
So what does that mean? That means that in June, are you firing people, or people just you're gonna hope that they stay on and then you pay them when you get money?
Well, hiring and firing of civil servants is a matter for the Service Commission. It does not happen at City Hall. But the reality is that we will not be able to make payroll. And that is a significant issue. It means that you may find yourself with some industrial unrest. You may find yourself with goods and services not being delivered. And I am here this morning to advocate on behalf of those public servants and by extension on behalf of all of the burgesses of the city of Port of Spain who demand a clean city, who demand a safe city, who demand that we continue to deliver these services that we deliver. We will not be able to do that if we can't make payroll. And the reason we found ourselves here is that at the budget debate, some decisions were taken in terms of allocation, but the government on the campaign had made a commitment to the PSA and to public servants that they would settle negotiations at a particular rate. Sometime in late November, early December, that happened, and all public bodies were directed to pay public servants an advance on their back pay. On January 1st, we also got, coming into force, the increased salaries for public servants. Neither the back pay nor the increased salaries were budgeted for in this financial year, so that the corporations in local government and I dare say across the government sector, the corporations were directed to use their existing allocation to pay the back pay and to pay the increased salaries, which means that we took the money for July, August, and September to pay back pay, so that now we're coming to the point where we're short of cash.
So with no additional funds given, you were told to pay additional salaries?
Written instruction coming from the ministry, a directive to pay an advance on back pay by December 23rd of 2025, so before Christmas, a partial cash payout based on the settled negotiation, but that allocation came from our allocation to make payroll for the entire financial year.
Now, coming up soon is mid-year review, and this is where there's additional money given. Was there any commitment given by the government that they may supply that in the upcoming mid-year budget review?
So I am not sure what is going to take place. I sincerely hope that in the mid-year review, the good sense prevails, but some corporations may not make it to the mid-year review. I can speak on behalf of Port of Spain and what our financial situation is, but you may find that based on the allocation of a specific corporation, how many public servants they had to pay back pay for, what classification those public servants were in, and how much back pay they had to be paid, every corporation will find themselves in a different but similarly disastrous financial situation.
Now, you did say that the UNC corporations had this same issue, but they would have gotten boosts in their allocation after the budget, and that's still not enough, you're saying?
So the way that public money works, and one of the things that I recognize coming out of the minister's comments is that the minister is relying on the public not understanding how public money works, not understanding the budget process. We have a line item in our budget called salaries and COLA. That money can only be used to pay salaries. We have a line item in our budget for uniforms. That money can only be used to pay uniforms. So to suggest that monies are being taken to throw fat and all sorts of things is really disingenuous.
I understand that And this was something that happened in one of her first meetings where she said, well, why don't you take money from here and pay some people for part-time work? This is after the CPEP thing. And you were explaining that to do that, you even need permission from the Ministry of Finance.
Correct.
To even take money from X and put it in Y.
Correct. So
that was Chinua Allen, the mayor of Port of Spain, somewhere up in April of this year. Then we saw this. The matter of salary payments for Port of Spain Corporation civil servants is still unresolved. I have been advised by the CEO that we received multiple requests for information from the Ministry of Local Government between yesterday, Sunday, and today, all of which we have complied with. I'm also advised that the ministry auditors will complete their audit tomorrow. This is when he would have posted this, so it's not yesterday he posted this. I'm also advised that the ministry auditors will complete their audit tomorrow morning, and a transfer of fund application will then be made by the Ministry of Local Government to the Ministry of Finance to transfer allocations from the Ministry of Local Government budget to the City Corporation. Now remember, as I said, the mayor of Port of Spain laid it out since in April what was happening. They were told, based on what he said, pay the public officers the partial payment, 20,000, whatever, and then new increases in salary. Now with a corporation that received millions and millions of dollars less than their custom having, right? They were told to do that, they will get it back. And they do that and they didn't get it back. And now this happened. People ain't get paid. Because I talked to people from the corporation, they didn't get paid as yesterday. Today I called, they didn't get paid yet. And this is what the minister is saying. No, I don't understand.
I have been actively following up on the salaries for the monthly paid officers of Port of Spain Corporation. And it is my understanding that since our preparation for midterm review in March, I met with all municipal corporations. That meeting was held at San Fernando City Hall. Port of Spain Corporation was told since then that certain documents are required to be submitted for the workers to get paid from the midterm review. When they did not submit it at the deadline, our PS met with the CEO of Port of Spain Corporation individually to go through the documents, to again inform them of what the requirements are so that we could submit that to the Ministry of Finance. When it was only on the 25th of June, when the warrant came from the Ministry of Finance, and we were preparing to dispatch monies to all the corporations who were listed in that warrant, we realized that Port of Spain's corporations documents were missing, were not submitted at all. All other corporations who had documents to submit did submit on time, and their payments would go through smoothly. When we realized those documents had not been submitted, we contacted the corporation. They submitted some of the information on Friday. Our permanent secretary and our staff have been working overtime, working over the weekend to sort out this matter with them. On Sunday, Port of Spain submitted some additional information. Unfortunately, there were errors in those documents. So on Monday, yesterday, we spent the time correcting those errors before the auditors could see it. Understand that this is a process that usually takes place in the preparation before midterm review, and Port of Spain Corporation failed to do what they are supposed to do. So Ministry of Finance would not just release the money unless they submit the documents and it is audited. It's a simple case of negligence. My permanent secretary and I, and we at the ministry, are working to ensure that the process goes through smoothly. I hope by the end of the day I will be able to sign off on the documents from the auditors so that the workers will get their pay. I am also in contact with the union because I am very concerned that this negligence is affecting the workers, and this really has nothing to do with them. Port of Spain Corporation has to be more diligent in submitting their audits to make sure that their workers, this is a straightforward process, you know. All other corporations have submitted their information months ago. Port of Spain was...
Right, so says the Honorable Minister of Local Government Affairs. No, local and what is this? Rural Development and something, local government, something. That is not what the mayor is saying. He's saying after the meeting, they had some meeting in March, I think, and they were given instruction to supply blah, blah, blah. They did all that, and they were asked to take money from there, and pay. They go get back, and nothing happening. I saw this 3 days ago. A dispute has erupted between the government and Port of Spain City Corporation over whether the capital city has sufficient funding to pay hundreds of municipal workers. This after Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Ahmed yesterday dismissed claim that the corporation lacks the money to pay salaries. Okay. So let me pull up a little bit. I don't get it. If it is the Honorable Minister saying just over this weekend, they had also go over the accounts or the audit that the Port of Spain Corporation would have submitted because it had real errors. And you can't just demand money from the Ministry of Finance, you had everything in order. But 3 days ago, this is what she said. She insisted the government has already released the necessary funds, accusing the corporation of playing petty politics to the workers. So if 3 days ago, the money was released from the Ministry of Finance to pay corporation workers, how come it could now be saying that documents that the Port of Spain Corporation sending, the auditing wasn't done good and all they had to go over it, and all Sunday all they were going over it, and it's not just so they get the money. So which is it? All they get money released from the Treasury, from the Minister of Finance to pay corporation workers, or you didn't get? Or because of the fact that you say they didn't do the audit proper, or they no audit all over the weekend, all they auditing and ting, it ain't do good, they can't get it. But here, 3 days ago, you say the government has already released the necessary funds, accusing the corporation of playing petty politics with workers. I don't know, maybe. And the union she talking about is with his PSA, waste a blast the time. That is not a union for workers. That is a union for the government, because the person who head that union is a part of the government structure. She's an employee, an employer right now. She don't care about nobody. So me ain't know what's going on there. But I know at the end of the day, workers want the money. They want the money because they have bills to pay. They have bills to pay. Let me continue. We will see. Now, this is something coming out here from a gentleman who does write a lot of stuff and think potential seizure of Balisay House. Sources indicate that the Attorney General has examining a legal pathway, and investigators are actively examining Balisay House. The PNM headquarters for possible restraint, possession of forfeiture, and broader financial probes into its financial procurement. And it goes on and on and whatever, right? And I just want to say this. Why do some people think so? The UNC never built even a fault. This is my opinion. They ain't built a fault club for them to have a headquarters. They're booming here, there, everywhere. I think sometimes it is alleged to get money, faith, and me know what they do and who didn't do and whatever. They don't have a home. And they have always been threatening that the Balisay House is drug funded and narco and all kind of always bring the evidence. So it is now they have the evidence. They're only going to seize Balisay House. Okay, if all they say so, okay. We will see how that plays out, because all them time all they talking, or they were just talking and had no evidence. So is it now they have evidence? I don't know. I don't understand it. But me not in the circus to understand what we're on with that. Listen to Rambles. They make you wondering what all this is about.
Since it took down my last video, I'm going to put it back up and say it a different way. This has nothing to do with what they're telling you all it has to do with. This is nothing more than the rich 1%ers who finance and back the UNC party, finding a way to weaponize the justice and legal system to go after the 1%ers in the Syrian Lebanese community, who they deem to be financiers of the PNM. That's it. That's the bottom line. I could end this video right here because that's all you need to know. But I won't, because context is very important. That way if you misunderstood me, you did it deliberately. Do you remember not too long ago when Trump was blowing up alleged drug boats in the Caribbean, talking about the war on drugs and the war on the drug cartel, and at that same time he pardoned a former president who was sentenced to 45 years for supplying America with drugs? And everyone was like, wait a minute. How are you saying this, but you're doing that? Do you remember that? The Attorney General stood up in Parliament and said, we're going after the 1% and those who believe that they are above the law. But my question is, why does it seem like conveniently the law only seems to go in one direction? And here's why I ask that. Whatever happened to this? Any updates on when only going after that $131 million? Because, we could use the money. Any update on that? Or is it silence on this matter because it involves somebody who the news said financed the UNC? How is that $275 million cartel claim coming along? How is that? How are things with this whole EMBD scandal? Now we know you all took one of the contractors who is also a financier of the UNC and rewarded with a $100 million contract, and then they give him a contract to bring in police vehicles, and they give him a contract to bring in more cement. So we know you all rewarded that particular contractor who is also a financier of the UNC. But aside from that, any update on this? Well, anything at all? Or no, that's the UNC 1%ers. Okay. Any updates on this? Because the last I heard about this is that they tried to stash money in some other account and say, well, it was in that company, and the judge said no, or they're trying to hide money. 16 hours ago, I hear you all going to the Privy Council. I hope we get back with 400 million, right? I hope so. Talking about conspiracy to murder, how far that live sport thing reach? How far are they making any progress with that? Any headway at all? Just asking an FYI as to how far this particular thing reached here, because a little update, it's a little thing, nothing much. Sticking with that theme. You all investigated it, yes? How far does investigation reach? Then again, you can't investigate yourself and make progress. And if you all are wondering, yes, Trump also did the exact same thing in the USA, weaponizing the legal and justice system to go after political enemies. It's the exact same thing. Whoever advises Trump also advises Kamala. She has copied everything he did one-to-one. If you want to know what's going to happen in Trinidad and Tobago next month, look to what is happening in America right now. If you still choose to believe your lies, you did so on your own accord. But you can't say you didn't know without saying you chose not to know.
Okay. You all can work it out. Now listen to Sir Richard Young SC.
The intention to award $3.4 billion in contracts at HDC. What was the process used? Yes, they say that they were in fulfillment of the procurement laws. Not true. Imagine one of the contractors who is very close to the hierarchy and leadership of the UNC has gotten a contract of over $1 billion. What was the process used? Look carefully at the Debe campus. Who is getting the award for the refurbishment of the Debe campus? Look as well at the port expansion. Look as well at the marine in Tobago. And who are the companies, or the company, the favored one, the new Mamu?
Will we ever hear about the MBD live sport and the PRCO where they have to pay back money and all this? We didn't tell all you. So big news today, gas shortage forces tough decision. Methanex halts Titan operation. Methanex Corporation, well, this was in the Daily Express, or is in the Daily Express today. Methanex Corporation will be indefinitely, remember that word, idling its Titan methanol plant in Point Lisas. As it said yesterday, it was unable to agree to a new natural gas contract. In a release, Vancouver BC Canada-based company stated Methanex Corporation announced today that it had been unable to agree to a new natural gas contract for its Titan methanol plant at Trinidad and Tobago, 860,000 ton per day capacity, and as a result, will begin the process of indefinitely idling the facility. Director, could you look up the meaning of indefinitely and put it up for me, please? Indefinitely is very, very important that you put it up. Indefinitely. Right. I ain't reading no more. Because this company employs more than 100 people. Methanex will undertake a preservation process at the Titan plant to provide optionally for a future restart should condition materially improve. How are we going to improve? How are we going to improve? How are we going to improve? Who is the chairman? Who is the chairman of NGC? You remember nutrient guilty because some shakedown is alleged and the new entry. Listen. Get the word indefinitely from somebody. Indefinitely. After hearing that news, listen to the Minister of Energy.
Yeah, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has taken note of the decision of Methanex to idle their Titan operations in Trinidad and Tobago. From the release, it's very clear that Methanex is a global operator, and they have been for some time now looking at their international portfolio. As you know, they do business throughout the world. In every corner of the world, they are in operations, and this decision they have taken is pursuant to their global business model to look at commercial viability of production in Trinidad and Tobago. For some time now, they have been engaged with the NGC in dialogue concerning gas pricing and gas allocation and so on. Regrettably, we are at a stage where there could be no agreement at this time, but I'm very confident that as we go forward, the decision of Methanex to preserve and idle their plant keeps the door open for a restart-ready situation where they may be able to restart in a short term. We'll continue dialogue with the NGC, we continue dialogue with all stakeholders, including Methanex, to look at this environment that is very challenging now, as you know. As we go forward, we have several projects that will mean increase in gas supply, expansion in production, and that will have an impact upon negotiations with the downstream operators. And we are hoping that at some time very soon we can be discussing with Methanex and with other players as well as gas production increases, the ability to restart. We want to thank and acknowledge Methanex's contribution to Trinidad and Tobago over the years. They have led a very professional workforce as well, and we are working with all partners and stakeholders during this period of transition. I want to remind folks that this is not the first time an operation will become idle or would be mothballed, as the case may be. We have had this situation over the last 10 years or so with several plants, and in fact the biggest closure we have had in this country is indeed the Point-A-Pierre refinery, where over 5,000 workers were sent home. We are working, as I said, with the stakeholders to ensure that this matter is temporary and we can have a new wave of discussions as the situation develops.
Help me. What is the Honorable Dr. Rula Mulia talking about? Indefinitely. Let me put it up here quick. Indefinitely. Indefinitely means an unlimited, unspecified, or unknown period of time. It indicates that something is continuing without a set date or final time frame. I go on with that one and take it off. He's talking about more gas. Where the gas coming? Where the gas coming from? Where the gas coming from? You talk about Petrotrin. Let me just play back this to the Honorable Minister of Energy, the current one. Let me play back this film.
Taking us back to the period just prior to the decision to restructure Petrotrin. I've heard it, because of course it suits them, that even just a few moments ago, Petrotrin was shut down. It was never shut down. It still exists in law, and it still has legacy assets. It was restructured. So if I may, I start exactly there. Petrotrin was restructured. Petrotrin still exists as a legal entity. Its main business is holding various legacy assets. However, its original operations were restructured. Trinidad Petroleum's Holdings Limited was incorporated as a holding company, with Petrotrin itself as one of its subsidiaries. The exploration and production operations were restructured into the successful company Heritage Petroleum Company Limited, which forms a part of the legislation before us here today. The provision of refined fuel products was taken on by Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited, Paria, which has successfully imported refined products, example, gasoline, diesel, aviation, fuel, etc., for the domestic market and for sale throughout the region.
Paria is also a part of the legislation today, because what the legislation today is proposing to do and will do, because there is a majority and a special majority, is it is now imposing on both Paria and Heritage and Guaracara, which was set up as a holding company to hold the refinery's assets, it is imposing on them OWTU as a recognized majority union, but also, importantly, the collective agreements in a retroactive manner to 2018. And what that means for the population is the terms and conditions that existed in 2018 as per the collective agreements with Petrotrin at the time, including the figures, the liabilities, that is now being imposed upon these two companies that have been in operation now for 8 years. So I'll get to the pragmatic side of how this exactly is supposed to operate, because it sounds good. It is excellent politics being played to come here on the eve of Labor Day and to rush this legislation, but it is the far-reaching consequences of the legislation, especially on the fiscal side, that one must pause and reflect on.
All the listen, Petrol was restructured into Paria Heritage. Paria was paying back all Petrotrin debt. So this, and then Petrotrin workers, the 5,000, they over varying ranges and all that, from billions of dollars put to pay off to give them and something with land and all that, whatever. All those things were put in place, so they don't walk away. Just like Caroni workers, they say Caroni workers wasn't really doing anything to make profit for the company. The government buy over Caroni. It used to be Thailand Tate or Late and Tate, wherever. Them white people and them. Dr. Williams make that a national thing, buy over Caroni for the workers of Caroni, which is mostly Indian descent, and they say how they used to be packing the tray with all kind of heavy material and putting cane on it. So when it weighs like it's plenty, but Caroni wasn't making money. The same Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, when he was Minister of Agriculture, to write up billions of dollars in debt from Caroni. And on top of that, they come, when they close down Caroni, get them the highest, the biggest retrenchment package ever in the history of the Commonwealth and Trinidad and Tobago ever had. They get land, they get this. And on top of that, when Point Lisas was built, it made them instant millionaire across the Caroni Bridge because the land went up in value. Everything down south they get, but they still say pay them and do nothing. Anyhow, let me continue. I don't know if the Honorable Mullah don't understand what idling means and indefinitely means, because idling of a plant, it means the economic downturn. When the market drops, it is cheaper to idle a plant than to produce energy or chemicals that cannot be profitably sold. Plants such as petrochemical and methanol facilities in regional industrial hubs like Point Lisas are often idle when operators cannot agree on pricing or secure necessary supply contract, and then they say that they can reach agreement to the contract with the NGC, and you know who is the chairman there, and indefinitely. It ain't have no time frame. If ain't get no gas, whatever, it ain't going to be working them gone, because that's a transnational company. That's not a Trinidad company. Them are shareholders all in Canada, all over. Let me continue. Let me tell you what Rambo say about this thing. Rambos has had plenty to say, you know. I just play
Can't
with the
allow
thing, care what they say.
losing to distract us from this nonsense that took place. Methanex 2 indefinitely idle Titan plant amid gas supply woes. You know what is concerning to me about this? Not that the foreign exchange issues are about to get even worse, or the fact that even more workers are about to be on the breadline, is the fact that last year December, Methanex says future of TNT operations hinges on gas supply, Venezuela link, aka Dragon Gas. The Methanex Corporation's future in Trinidad and Tobago hinges on securing adequate gas supplies, with expansion plans closely linked to potential cross-border development in Venezuela. And then shortly after that, we saw the Prime Minister coming out and saying that she was sending over a mission to Venezuela to secure the gas. She wouldn't be a part of it because she still can't set foot there, but other people were going on her behalf. So what do we conclude from this? If they said this, December 25, and then you came earlier on this year and said this, and now they are saying this, then it stands to reason that we're not getting the gas. It also stands to reason that they know the gas supply issues are not going to get better in the short and medium term. So in just 1 year and 5 months, we lost 2 plants. So instead of the foreign exchange crisis getting better, it's only going to get worse. More people on the breadline. You're all incompetent. The energy minister don't know what he's doing. The prime minister MIA most of the time around the country via Bluetooth, and the one by NGC just they pass and shit deal.
Okay. Listen now to the boss. Because he's the boss, they can say what I want. He's the boss. Stuart Richard Young, SC is the boss. It's not as he just know about energy alone. But he understand what I mean. When he get over there, you know he's talking about. Listen to him.
Trinidad and Tobago, the latest news coming out of our energy sector is unfortunately once again disastrous news. Methanex has now shut down its plant. Methanex is the largest global producer of methanol. And they have now shut down Titan. So they have no plants operational. Add this to the shutdown of the 4 nutrient plants. What you're seeing is exactly what we've been warning of, which is a complete annihilation of our petrochemical industry in Trinidad and Tobago by this incompetent Kamla Persad-Bissessar-led government. You heard the Minister of Energy say in Parliament within the past couple of weeks, gas production is up and they've taken gas production up and gas production has stabilized. So therefore, it is the same amount, or according to them, more gas that they're dealing with than what we were managing. Fortunately, all of the new gas projects, including what they believe is a panacea, Manatee, were negotiated by us in the PNM. However, if these petrochemical plants continue to shut down and close up operations, not only is it a loss of jobs of the workers there, it is a loss of jobs in the ecosystem. All those who supply, all the subcontractors, all the people who do janitorial service, security service, provide food, etc. It's a loss of additional foreign exchange in our economy, where this government said we will fix foreign exchange. They're doing the exact opposite. They are destroying sources of foreign exchange. This is all due to the incompetence of the UNC government, their inability, lack of sophistication to negotiate commercial contracts that would work both for the plants and producers as well as for NGC, something that we did for 10 years. It's not an easy task, but you get it done for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago, because these plants and these operators bring a lot of benefit to our economy, and that helps keep us afloat. So what you're seeing is a continued incompetence and destruction of our energy sector in record time by this UNC government. This is not good. It is not good for us in Trinidad and Tobago.
The central bank saying 1 day ago, they're saying slower growth. So things are happening nice. And I remember December 30th, 2025, the Energy Chamber welcomes and supports government's push to accelerate energy projects approval. What is the energy sector saying today? The Energy Chamber, what are they saying today? Methanex gone. Hey, Jesus, Lord. All supporting. What are they saying now? Things are looking good. It is smelling good and looking good. It's just not good all around. Let me continue. I will always remember Miss Camille Robinson Regis telling all of this. All it
They
hard,
want to
all it
advise us on how to run this country. Mr. Deputy Speaker, if anybody takes God out of their thoughts and votes them back into government, they need licks. And God help us, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Now this is a new segment. It's called Read My Lips. So I want to read it. I want to read it. Read my lips. All the way then, read it. Read my lips. Right? I vent. Hold it too damn hard. I vent. I'm not able. I vent. I vent. Now I'm seeing this one who was all out in the road, all over the place by talking Dr. Rowley. When he was a minister, he feel bigger than everybody because he wanted to bring water meter. And the country didn't have money and they tell you so. It is alleged you get vexed, you walk out, you ting. Remember the man was public utility minister? Now I hear is alleged. He is the treasurer of the PNM. How he come treasurer? Who vote for he? I don't know what's going on. No. He want to work with it quietly. The PNM quietly rebuilding. What? Tell me what PNM quietly rebuilding. Tell me. I don't understand it. Because I want to say something. You're seeing the people who feel despite the PNM, this present PNM going nowhere fast, and they still want to support what they see in the person as leadership in the PNM. Them would like to be close to power, proximity to power. Let me tell you a little about them. When individuals engage purely because of proximity to power, they are driven by access, status, and influence rather than genuine conviction. So we don't believe what they're doing, Okay, let me continue. This creates a transactional culture where people trade loyalty for borrowed authority, leading to several predictable consequences. People in inner circles often mistake being in the room with actually wielding decision-making power. When they step out of line, they quickly realize how disposable they are. The yes man dynamic. Rather than speaking the truth of power, these individuals tend to suppress, critique, validate, flawed logic, and prioritize staying in good graces of the leadership. The fool's goal effect. The desire for access can cause individuals to surrender their own integrity, often ending up discarded once the leader no longer needs their services. Dynamic observed motivation. Look for those who name drop, leak information, or switch sides rapidly to gauge who relies on borrowed status. Yeah? Them is who know the thing ain't good, it ain't going good, but they're staying because they feel they're close to the leader, and they go get this and get us, and they know to the heart, they ain't believe it. And them so you could sell them and buy them in a minute. Sell them and buy them in one month. They tell me, oh, UNC paying me, and then this one paying me, like Church Young paying me. All kind of one people paying me. I tell them, nobody can buy and sell this African. My ancestors have been there, done that for me. I don't have to do them things. Yeah? Nobody can buy and sell me. It's not the price is right with me. I do things from a conviction, right? I want to ask you this. There was a meeting down in Marabella, I think Tuesday night. We have other people always says, Jenny's people meet up poll. It's just like Mr. Ship, I can't say that fast, so I'm saying this too. Jenny's people meet up poll. We have it, so listen to the question. I'll come into something here. So there was a meeting in Marabella. All you know, the only person that win the seat down in the Southland is Brian Manning. San Fernando East. He's the only person. Everybody knows the seat from Point Fortin to Moruga to wherever. The whole are so gone. The only soldier standing there is Brian Manning. You know them people at a meeting Thursday, Marabella, which is far from his constituency and what can I join him, but from the south. He lives far from around there too. And they put that man to talk on the podium so some people will feel some sense of renewed strength. They bring people from all outside the constituency to talk. And the man who from down there will bring home at least one seat. If it wasn't for he would have lost it. Hold us out. When you look on the map, you see that little pink, red and everything yellow. You know they ain't put the man to talk. They ain't put the man to talk. Who made that decision? So here's my question. Do you think the leadership of the PNM disrespected Member of Parliament Brian Manning in Marabella? Yes or no? Do you think that disrespected Brian Manning down in Marabella, or they think he didn't get disrespected? Because he's the only man when they sit down there, you know? And the man wasn't there. They had in the crowd like he's just normal, nothing. And not everybody and their father and their brother talk, but he talk. Even had the senator, the new senator and all talk. Whenever there's having Senator Alwari should be there talking because he's a seasoned senator. Yeah, even he was there, and he's from South. Like Diane. What's she name again? All you help me now, Miss Diane. She was a PNM thing, that he grant, that he mother. Even if he went the city from South, he's a senator. He and all that speak. But the man who went the seat and fighting in defense of the People's National Movement in South, Brahman, he was no way to talk on the thing. It was not disrespect. So here's my question again, because the poll open now, you know. The poll open now. Do you think that the leadership of the PNM disrespected Member of Parliament Brian Manning in Marabella when they didn't put him on the podium to speak? Yes, they disrespect him, or no, they didn't disrespect him. Vote now, it's open. New segment. While all are voting, let me play 2 little videos for them. Vote, because I come back. Vote, Italian. Vote.
Instead of acting in it, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister just tries to get through the day. Too weak to stand up for our national interest. He's too weak.
Penny's weak leadership, limited assertiveness, displays a too cautious leadership approach.
He's too weak.
Demonstrates a measured and restrained political style.
He's too weak.
Shows limited assertiveness in opposition politics.
He's too weak.
Often adopts a low confrontation strategy.
He's too weak.
Reactive versus proactive. Takes a reactive stance on key issues.
He's too weak.
Engages in issue-by-issue responses rather than agenda setting.
He's too weak.
Shows limited proactive policy leadership.
He's too weak.
Tends to follow rather than lead political narratives.
He's too weak. Yes.
Next week again, all the time to vote. What all is that? Vote. Listen to Dr. Rowley. When you have a good worker, listen to Dr. Rowley. Because I hear people balling up people all over the place, or who are walking and them ain't walking. You know. Listen when you have good people working for you. Vote, vote.
To acknowledge, it's not very often that this happens, but I must do it because I know how it's done. When I appointed the cabinet, I appointed Minister Stuart Young as minister in the office of the Prime Minister. It's not because he couldn't have held his own portfolio anywhere in the government. He could have. But maybe I wouldn't have been the Prime Minister that I am without having Minister Young in the office of the Prime Minister. Because I understood very clearly that it would have been an extreme benefit to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to have the energy and the skills and the experience, the legal experience, among others, in the office of the Prime Minister because of what we had to do, because of the business that we had to attend to. And today I want to thank and congratulate Minister Young for his ceaseless energy in all of these matters. Operating out of the office of the Prime Minister on these matters, leading and co-leading some of these teams, we have done a lot.
Okay, people. Voting has ended now. You will get the, well, listen, it done up already. All it done up, it done up, it done up, it done up. The question was, do we think the PNM leadership disrespected MP Brian Manning and Marabella? It was type 1 for yes and 2 for no. The yes have it, 91% said it disrespected Brian Manning in Marabella, and 9% say they didn't disrespect Manning. So the ones have it, yes, he was disrespected. So people look out for more people meet a poll. And again, read my lips. This is what Ole. Right, Ole didn't listen. So that is my read my lip moment. When you see that come up, Ole ain't gonna hear no voice, but Ole read my lip. And again, thank everybody for taking part in the poll. Polls are important, not type. Polls. Ole, listen. This is what Ole miss out on because they don't hear. Ole hears Miss Camille Robbins when she say, they want a damn tap or lash or something, they go and vote for you and see. This is what they miss out on.
There are people who are not like you. People who celebrate our challenges, take pleasure in our pain, and people who create chaos. People who block our progress and undermine our opportunity, all for political power. But there are people like you who love our country. People like you who work hard to move our country forward. People like you who want a better future for the next generation. There are people like you who want to see Trinidad and Tobago succeed. With people like you, we will continue to fight for our country. With people like you, we will continue to fight for what is right. With people like you, we will continue to build this nation. We will write a new chapter for Trinidad and Tobago together. On April 28th, vote for your future. Vote for people like you. Vote PNM.
Well, they had the opportunity. So Cecile, Diamond, Dexter, Curtin, and Emmeline, all those who are locked on to, let me talk the thing on Facebook, Vernie, Allison, Kim, let me see who again just now, Bolty, Joycelyn, Melka, and Charles Chris, my whole family out in Puna. Miss Angela, I hope you're enforcing yourself to watch this, you know, you never go follow it, you know. But I'm happy you're here. Miss Angela, Leon, Ruthven, Andrew from out in Britain. I thought we have a British accent, so when I'm talking to him, Britain. Jasmine Frederick, hi. Jasmine not know, darling. We go talk later. Sarah, Christopher, if I call her name already, oh God, I'm not if I call it twice, it's nice. Yeah. Carrie, thank you all so much. That's some of the names I've seen on Facebook. Let me see what I see on Bouncer, but let's go back and oh God, where the thing going? Where the people's going? Hey, Wayne, Mr. Gibson, Sherlyn, Deborah, Pearl, Julie, Anon. Yeah, Anon, it was, oh boy, you just tell me, yes, Diane had that. No, not hear me, oh Lord. Diane Sukaran, Lanel Sukaran, daughter, Diane Sukaran. That is Faris Arari mother, yes. So, Anna, yes, Julie, Althea, I see Slimy was they making back. Slimy, I hear you as a MAGA, you know. We don't really check for MAGA, you know. We don't understand that kind of philosophy, you know. I hear you as a MAGA. Somebody tell me, so I don't know how true it is. We not on that MAGA thing at all. Benny Q, everybody. Some who is this now? Matt, Hi, Mr. Bataria. No, Mr. Bataria don't want people program and make a comment and call my name. Them people and them is a kind of different kind of people. Them is real hater in their heart and thing. Don't call my name on the people program, please. Make a contribution and leave me out of that. Who again? Everybody. Love you all. Thank you all for taking part in the poll. Again, we have 2 new segments. Read my lip. That is what I'm going to say. And all you could read and say, all you say, I go say I didn't say. If you can't read sign language, or if you can't say I didn't say nothing. Okay, great. It wasn't me. And we will have our poll Tuesdays on Friday. So people love you all. Thank you all so much for staying and being a part of this whole thing. Listen to me now, some only real hard boy. And again, FIFA, somebody tell me FIFA is spelled AFRICA, Africa, all up in it. We don't care which one is the African nation. Africa is Africa. People, we have some love in our heart. We pray for those people in Venezuela anyway we could help. Those in Cuba, let's not forget Cuba, let's not forget Haiti. Let us not forget our neighbors, please. Have love. Don't forget the elderlies. Watch out for the elderlies. Make sure they're okay. Make sure they go the church thing and who all they want healing and thing and the priest to talk to all they go for. It's down to the bottom of Independence Square and thing. Go the 1st and the 3rd of July from 9 or 5 or something. So all they want to find out now. I'll show them on Facebook. People, I love you all, Director. Thank you so much for helping with this whole poll and this whole bacchanal, 2026. We go into all kind of level, all kind of thing. But the right thing. Love you all, people. This is what I'm going to say. This is my opinion. The PNM executive must go. The whole leadership. Them ain't doing nothing. Boy. Them how we out here just only blows and that management. The leadership. But that's an next story for next day. People, I love you all. See you all on Friday, because when I come with something fresh, something new. This is the Gil Jen, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formulas, Miss Jennifer Frederick, love you, let me tell you thing. These are my opinions. People have to agree with me. I don't be a part of the crowd and thing. I just say my thing. Me mean to offend nobody. I just say it as I see it. But that will be a poll question Friday. So be prepared. I'm going. Love all you.
News.